Our technological age all started with Gatorades and vacuum tubes, technology sweeping the 1960s, putting hope into the eyes of children and adolescents alike. Hope for a future in which technology would reign supreme, and our lives would be made easier, doing the impossible today. Looming in the darkness of these times of great achievement were disbelievers. Some hoped that technology would fade away in time. Others, such as the US government, poured millions into purchasing equipment that greatly automated previously impossible tasks and cataloged millions upon millions of data points of information saved in the digital world for all time. However, some decisions made in the past, and indeed in the present, regarding technology have come back to bite us. Many current security issues in this technological age threaten the privacy of billions. People are being replaced with machines. The average working conditions have not been getting better for everyone in this industrialized world. Yet the world has never been more interconnected, ideas have never been easier to share, learning has never been easier to receive, and advancements in all fields are made accessible. Do these inherent drawbacks outweigh the good the technology has given us? Is progress really worth the heartache and suffering along the way? The book Frankenstein by Mary Shelley highlights both the inherent fears that come with advancements in technology, as well as the pitfalls that we have fallen into as technology has progressed. In Frankenstein's confrontation of his monster, he observes the size of his creation, saying his stature also, as he approached, seemed to exceed that of man. Most have turned away from the large-scale mainframes of the 60s and 70s. Not all have done so, however, and large parts of many governmental bodies still use the same IBM mainframes that they adopted back in the 70s for crucial functions. This highlights one of the major issues with technology today. Enter compatibility, or rather, the non-existence of it. From the early 1980s to the early 1990s, the IBM compatible reigned supreme as the future of technology, and the kind of computer most would have in their homes. It was. Today, however, you'd be hard-pressed to find an MS-DOS compatible computer in the world, never mind PC-DOS, and even more hard-pressed to find a programmer who's familiar with the languages that came before these home computers were widely accessible. Got any punch cards? Because of the ever-advancing world that we live in, future-proof systems are impossible to create. This is a problem with modern technology. Moreover, certain computational applications still require a large setup to function. IBM's Watson, for example, he's loaded with a world of data, 10 refrigerator-sized servers, states the ABC News in their Jeopardy! Man vs. Watson Machine report. Not only can such a format be daunting, it can be costly. In today's world of the cloud, companies like Google and Microsoft house large data collection services taking up the size of multiple warehouses. Even with the sizes of transistors shrinking, a large drawback to modern technology is the space that it takes up, and the power and the dedication that it takes to run it and keep it running. When one of these servers is breached, it can send out the passwords, personal information, social security numbers, credit card information, and more of innocent people. Oh yeah, and also Google collects your data and sells it to advertisers. That's probably not very nice either. The third and probably most pressing issue with the technology of today is the fact that it replaces the jobs and lives of many. Automated machinery has been able to completely uproot the factory workforce. Where loomers and weavers once dwelled, only a select few skilled technicians in a particular field are needed to run entire factories in certain fields. This, however, may also be the first advantage to this technological world. As inventions that allow for automation within factories become cheaper and cheaper, those with less and less money are able to implement them. Certain countries without perfect law on labor allow children and adults to work in terrible factory conditions. Automation, at a cheap price, might be able to help stop some of this, even if it puts some out of work. Better alive and without work than dead of factory. A second advantage to the technology of today is the constant communication that we can have with almost anyone around the world. No longer must you be satisfied with letters from your grandparents, they can fumble around with their phones and video call you. Social media allows you to get a dopamine high every time someone gives you a like, and strive to present your best self, although it can be abused. Some websites that utilize user content, such as YouTube, allow for the sharing of visual information to anyone in the world without the need of a large publication company. Not to mention, A simple Google search will show you anything that you want to find, though copying and pasting the first thing you see might not always be the best answer. Technology is getting better and better, and IBM's Watson is a great example. Before Watson, computer searches only spit out documents filled with keywords, states the speaker in IBM Watson, the science behind an answer. However, Watson is engineered in such a way that he can do more than just find keywords. He can find and rank information based on relevance. An advantage to this technological society that we live in today is innovation, although everything has its drawbacks. As previously mentioned, the rapid pace of change and innovation in this technological space can in itself be a hindrance to the foundations previously built upon within. Furthermore, the very way that computers process information, code, is a barrier that has to be broken before we can truly utilize technology to its fullest. And it's a large issue with future integration into our societies. At the basis of it all, computers understand machine code. As the speaker in IBM Watson, the science of an answer states, remember, a computer understands code, ones and zeros, not people and places, nouns and verbs, never mind the relationships between them. As technology becomes more fully integrated into our societies, we will still lack a direct form of communication with it. Translation will always have to be performed in order for a computer to understand what we say. Again, even IBM's Watson, with its huge data set and complex algorithms for finding the answers to questions given, wasn't able to perfect the game of Jeopardy. We actually took the lead. We were ahead of them. And then we started getting some questions wrong, says David Godnick, part of the Watson Algorithms and Strategy team, in the video Watson in the Jeopardy Challenge. Translation methods won't be perfect, a barrier in innovation as a whole in the technological space as we advance to use computers more closely in all things. However, even with these inherent drawbacks of technology in our future, the future of technology still looks bright. IBM's Watson, after studying thousands upon thousands of sample datasets, was able to decompile most complex Jeopardy questions and pose semi-accurate answers based on narrowing down possible answers internally within seconds. These advancements have the possibility to expedite future research in all fields, as computers help find answers based on the information that they already have. Protein folding, for example, is being utilized to help find a vaccine for COVID-19. The future holds opportunities for the utilization of technology everywhere, even as personal assistants. Technology will accelerate the future. Utilization of technology as an asset or a vice is a much less well-defined line to look upon. Technology can certainly be used as an asset, however, can grip back on its users through addiction to its contents, overuse, and general misuse. Understandably, I would not like to say too much more about this specific point. Because of the people in the world today, and the short bursts of happiness in wanting rather than lifelong happiness by doing the right thing, for many technology is becoming a vice. To answer your final question, we must look back to Frankenstein and his monster. Although when first confronting his creation, the very incarnation of all that could go wrong with new technology, a mist came over my eyes, and I felt a faintness seize me. He's able to compose himself. "Devil," I exclaimed, "do you dare approach me?" While I have no doubt that in a day not so far away, some misuse in technology will result in the harm of people, there will be those that stand up. And although there may be bloodshed, although there may be fear, we will triumph over the machine.